Hey there, you're watching Bare Knuckle Binder. Welcome to the channel. At a rest stop just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. It's kind of a chilly little morning. Got the van here, and the trailer, and I'll show you how we've got it all packed out, heading all up to California to put the Coleman together. So here in the van, a radiator and all the Milwaukee toolboxes, all the axle stuff is underneath. Transfer case is way up in the front. A lot of the parts bins are in front of that. You can't see them from here. You can see some gasket material, more toolboxes, and all kinds of stuff. So then in the back, I'll show you the trailer. All right, so going into the trailer here, we got the hood, just taking up the rear here. Then inside there, here's the motor, transmission. It's all still on the dolly. And actually it's sitting on top of the ramps or the boards that we use to slide the axles out in the very first Coleman video out in the field. And we've got them underneath that motor because how heavy this motor is for the trailer, the plywood floor of the trailer, that those wheels on the dolly we're gonna actually bust through the trailer before too long. So that's sitting on those. They fit perfectly in here. We got gas tank number 1, gas tank number 2, 5-gallon gas can there to actually get the truck started and drive it to the first gas station. All the tires, the seat, the mufflers in that box there. So that's the trailer. That's as much weight as we really wanted to put in here. Sure, it's a beautiful Arizona morning out here. Just rock formations and whatnot. It's pretty cool. So, like I said in a previous video, on Sunday, today is early Tuesday morning. I was hoping to be in California by now, but you know, life happens. On Sunday, I played at Dawson City Limits Music Festival. It was awesome. But you know, the weeks leading up to this and departure, it's kind of burning the candle at both ends. So we got to deal with human limitations. That's Trevor. Trevor's riding with me. Trevor's actually my booking agent. So he lives in Reno. So we're basically driving it up, you know, as a team back to Reno, and then I'll take it there over to Grass Valley and up to Oregon House, where the truck is. I meant to make a lot of more videos, or at least one more video between this and the last one. So I'll just throw some stuff in now with editing. Had the basic repairs in the Coleman axle, and my buddy Isaac Icy Weld helped me with a lot of that. Did an amazing job, and so I got some footage of that, so I'll run that right now, and then we'll catch up with the rest of the trip up to California and start putting the truck together.
Pressure. Is that a bolt or is that a stud?
It looks like a. Look at this. More funny business. Looks like they welded it on the back there.
Oh yeah. We can put regular bolts on there most likely.
Yeah, right.
And is your other top one studded as well?
It's a bolt situation because that thing bolts to it. I thought for some reason this was the one because it fits right on there, and that's with the steering.
Yep.
But if that's the case, we don't have to. And plus, the repair's up here, so as long as we bolt these tight, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I can take care of that when I get home.
Okay, let me get you a bit of a diagram here.
All right, so there's one right here. Grab the glass.
Yeah, put it in.
What do you think that is?
It's hard to say. The chip's kind of interesting. Maybe a good cast steel, which is good.
Yeah. So over here with IC Weld, Isaac, I'll just show his hands because he don't like to be on camera. And right now we're repairing these cracks on the spindle here. We got to die grind them out, bevel them out, and then he's gonna show me how a master TIG welds this stuff.
And you said the wrong words.
I mean, MIG weld? Okay, so that's what we're doing right now.
Master, oh no.
Oh man, you gotta put the pressure on you.
Yeah, I'm not a TIG welder.
You know, diamonds are warm under pressure.
I'm a stick welder. Yeah. Right here? Right there?
Yeah.
I can't tell that's
Yep. Hey!
Oh wow, so it is straight. So, oh, these are just basic.
Yeah. I'm in an abusive relationship with myself.
Yeah. No, it's good.
This guy is really, looks like a little bit more of an aggressive crack.
Yeah, probably stretched a little bit. But that's fine. Hopefully the heat will allow it to relax a little bit.
Yeah. Don't see cracks in any wheels. Yeah, so that hole right there is where the bearings preload bolt goes.
I got you.
And then I got a bolt that sets it.
And jam that or so.
Yeah.
Mount steel filler rod. It looks like a cast steel, so it should be fine. And so I'm excited to give it a shot and see how well it holds. But again, we got to heat it up, so let's do that next. I want to get. You have to slowly work the chair around.
Okay.
I wish I had my light over there.
So you're about to put a bunch of new lights in here?
Yeah, it's about a total or 5 more. We got the 2 of these today. Those are meant for like a really big difference. Okay.
Lights are a good thing to overkill on.
Yeah. Taking the direction of the cut. I asked about cast iron rods. You know, they didn't have any. Those are strict order.
Really?
Yeah.
here we are. Made it all the way to Oregon House. Dropped off Trevor last night in Reno and drove all the way up here. And I didn't want to disturb anyone up here because we are right behind someone's house. Well, about maybe 300 yards away through some woods, but we made it. So back at it. Let's get started on this. All right, before I get into this thing, I just want to kind of walk around it real quick. Somebody left their water bottles. What slobs. Anyway, I just wanted to walk through here and just show you what's going on with this. Just the state it's in right now. So that as we work on it and get it all put together, you can see the progress. The running board, we took that off. It's in the back here because we took the running board off to get the fuel tank. Here's our main rear springs. Let me clean this lens off. Yeah, that's better. Rear springs. Got our There's clearly been a summer's worth of growth since we've been here last. When we were up here last time, it was April 2nd. It is now October 12th. Had some spiders getting after this thing. And here we are with the cab. There's the 9/16 socket that I left here last time. All right. Well, free crescent wrench. So, got a dash to put in, seat. Here's that cut off upper cross member, missing lower cross member. All right, I want to get started on this. All right, so it's almost 6 o'clock, and been working all day on this. The thing is, I've had a tough time filming this because I have a lot to do in a short time to do it, and filming always slows me down. But at the same time, I still want to film it so that you can see what I'm doing, because it's pretty interesting. The sun sets a little, I think between 6 and 7, maybe 6:30ish. But it looks like, excuse me, it looks like it's pretty much down. Eddie, the guy who was out here before with me and Jeff, has been helping me all day. He had to leave at 3:30, so I've been tooling around with other stuff since then. But we managed to get both axles in, so let's take a look at what we got done so far. All right, I got to clean up the tools before it gets dark, get everything organized. But Coleman axle is in. It's missing the diff right now, and I don't have the tie rod going across it. But before I left town, the tie rod, which was bent in several places, Icy Weld Isaac came through again and just made that thing straight as an arrow. So that should be cool, putting that on. Hopefully the alignment isn't too bad, but we'll check it. Nothing with the motor yet. It sounds like we're probably gonna get that in tomorrow. We're gonna need a tractor with a loader. I couldn't bring the engine hoist this time because it wasn't even tall enough to put it in my van. And with a head on it, there's no way that would put it in here. Really, it's hard to see how tall this truck really is, but it's pretty tall, right? So I'm like 6 foot, and this thing is, you know, eye level at the door right now, and the wheels aren't even on it. The springs are stretched out, but the wheels aren't on it, so it's gonna be really tall. Moving on, we got the rear axle in. That was the first thing we did. That was mildly frustrating because the brake line, I had to take the brake line off the back that I had made. This brake line, I bent this thing up and put it along the same path that they normally go on, and it interfered with the U-bolts, so I had to take them off. So maybe I can bend these to work, or I might have to make new ones. So we'll see. I've also got like drive shafts and stuff. I forgot the broom this time, so we've got a bunch of leaves in here. Those are the brackets for the large fuel tank. I grabbed the saddle tank that I used on Della for the cross-country trip so that I can have 2 fuel tanks with this thing going across the desert, so we're not in a danger of running out of fuel, and we don't have to carry like, 30 gallons in jerry cans. Got the drive shafts back here, the wheel clamps, and some extra lights I wanted to put on. Then we have this pretty beefy piece of angle iron I think I'm going to use to fab up some type of anchor for linkage levers and stuff for the transfer case, because the truck doesn't have any of that and it needs it built. So the Coleman axle itself actually took most of the day. It took a while to understand really how it goes back together and how to get it to be happy and not like, mar it up doing it. I think I'll walk through that in a future video of just like really how the Coleman works, have it on a running truck so it can be, illustrated then and there. But man, it just wasn't in the cards to get that all done today. So that's something to look forward to. I don't think I'm ever going to take this off. It looks like it's faded out. It used to be blue, but this is what I'm working on right now. I got the seat that I recovered in there, and I'm working on getting the dash. You can see it's not completely connected yet, so, but it's getting in there. It's looking good. It took about 45 minutes and started just vacuuming out everything in the cab. Under the seat, it's clean. There's still some dirt and dust here because the dash was sitting in here. The trailer back there still has the motor in it, and it has all the wheels. Planning on putting the wheels on tomorrow. The thing is, this truck is really tall and it's barely off the ground. and it's already stood up on stands that are semi-sketchy, and it's gonna be better to have a couple dudes working on it instead of just me by myself. So tonight I'm trying to get cleaned up a little bit around here, put the tools away, get organized again for a plan of attack tomorrow. Productive day. Didn't get as much done yet as I've wanted to, but we did get both axles on, and that's huge. So it looks like probably tomorrow afternoon we'll do the motor. And once the motor's in, then it'll all start moving really fast, or slow down to a crawl with other little details, but we'll see. All right, started day 2. I'm gonna get some tires on this thing. Okay, working on getting tires on this thing. Got it jacked up, and it's the first video. You know, we had this big square tube thing underneath there with a bottle jack. I don't have enough blocks and bricks to get the front stabilized like that, so it's just sitting on the jack, and it's very wonky. But I think it's just high enough to get the tire on there, but gotta wait for Eddie to show up so one of us can kind of put a hand on the truck and stabilize a little bit long enough to get the wheel on there and get it clamped on. In the meantime, the truck really isn't stable enough to do anything around it, so I'm going to set this jack back down, and then as long as I have a moment, it's going to be easier now to put the tie rod across the front there, so I'm just going to do that while I'm waiting for him. All right, so I started running out of time the last couple days. I've just been scrambling to get this thing done. Made it to the top of the hill from the woods where this thing was. Pretty confident in it right now. I gotta go to Grass Valley and do some DMV paperwork to get the non-op title and then transfer it over to a temporary Texas thing and get it home. So anyway, I flipped the spring hangers. See how that one is facing down? That one, you can see the shadow of it's facing up, but I think if you had it facing down, that would correct most of the pinion angle. I got rid of the bolt that was in it. That was stupid, but now it brought the back end up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and it almost looks like it slammed the front a little bit. But the front shackles were sitting on there. So somebody put the wrong leaf springs in here at some point, and I figured that out because they're too long and it's not centered. See, this is a spring stop. It should be centered right here. And I also realized that when I was trying to put bushings on it, this leaf spring pack will not accept bushings. It has some worn out brass bushings in there. Anyway, I stuffed some stuff in there. It'd be good for the ride back to Texas. And then I've got that L-120 in a junkyard down in Seguin. Gonna go grab the stuff out of there, the leaf springs and stuff, so. Booyah. Got the bed full of some just the step ladder. Della and Claudette here both need a step ladder if you're gonna be working on it. And then just gas can, extra fuel tank in the front, my clothes. The van is still here in Oregon House. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and get it. Right now I'm running into Grass Valley, like I said, and then on to Reno to pick up Jess at the airport in this beast. All right, so I'm at this little pull-off called Sycamore Ranch, and actually this is, if you go to the first video about this truck, where at the very start when I was cooking tacos and talking about going up the mountain to see this thing, this is exactly where I was. When I ran Della across the country last year, this was the first place we stopped and broke down to, you know, top off the radiator and everything. So I'm going down the road. I have a lot of shimmy. These wheels are not balanced. I don't know how to get them balanced because first off, they're open centers. Second, they're split ring, so no one wants to touch them because they think they're split rim. And then it's also, there's a technique you have to use to true the wheel on the rim with the clamps because it doesn't just center itself. You have to sit there and put like a hammer handle up in the air, or I used an extra drive shaft I had sitting around, so it's sitting straight up and down. You spin the wheel and you look how close it gets. First time I've ever had to do it, so I did as best as I could, but this thing's gonna shimmy. You know, I've got it up to about 40, and the smoother the road, the better. The brakes are actually getting better. I guess it's because they're getting hot. The truck's running a little hot. I think I'm gonna advance the spark a little bit, get a little more power going up the hills and stuff. I'm not too worried about the idle at this point. I think there might be sucking air through the throttle shaft of the carb base, but let's see what else. Then there's a lot of rattles, especially with the tires being unbalanced. You're gonna find a lot of rattles. So there's one really bad one that I'm trying to find because it's driving me mad. But once I get that figured out, on to Grass Valley.